Hey guys, it's Saucy Surge. In today's video, we're going to be covering every single Kuku Spear in Crimson Desert. I'm talking about where to get them, how to craft them, what you need for each one, and most importantly, just how strong these things actually are. Now, there's been a lot of confusion going around about these weapons, whether they have durability, how they scale, and if they're actually worth using or just another gimmick. So in today's video, we're going to be clearing all of that up. Break everything down, and I'm going to show you every single Kuku Spear step by step so you don't miss anything. If you guys are into Crimson Desert tips, tricks, guides, tutorials, and hidden secrets, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. It really does help support the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Seriously, it does mean a lot. With all that being said, let's get right into the video and talk about the Kuku Spears. Alright, so before we start running all over the map grabbing these, you need to understand what a Kuku Spear actually are, because this is where most players get confused. Kuku Spears are just not a single weapon, they're basically a weapon system. Think of it like a base weapon that branches out into multiple variants depending on how you build it. That's why you'll see different versions like the lightning type, the disruptor, and upgraded variants depending on what you're crafting. So if you only found one and thought, oh that's it, you're missing a huge part of the system. Now let's talk about why they're actually worth your time. Kuku Spears are actually pretty strong because they deal insane burst damage depending on the enemy, and a lot of them are especially strong against different enemy types like, the mechanical enemies with the Disruptor Spear. So if you're struggling with certain bosses or tanky enemies, especially anything of these sorts, these weapons can absolutely melt them if used correctly, or can help you push towards later game. Now let's clear up the biggest question I see people asking down in the comment section all the time. Do Kuku Spears have durability? And oh, mine has durability. The short answer is it depends on the variant. But that's because we haven't went to the Kilden workshop to actually upgrade them to lose the durability, and then you won't have to worry about losing that weapon. Alright, now that you understand what they are and why they're strong, let's actually get into the part what you guys actually care about, where to find them and how to get them. Because some of these are hidden in very specific locations, locked behind certain fights, or just straight up easy to miss if you don't know where to look. So I'm going to walk you through each one step by step, exactly how to get it. With all that being said, the first spear we're going to be talking about is the Kuku Flame Spear. Now to get this spear, we're going to head over to Payloon just above the E at the location called Ashclaw Keep. Once you get here, you're going to make your way to the southern side of the area. You'll see exactly where I am on the map. From here, just push all the way into this back section, and the flame spear is literally going to be standing straight up inside a weapon rack next to some explosive barrels. And that's it. It's honestly super easy to grab once you know where to look. Now one thing you have to understand, this version you're picking up is the base version, and it does have durability. So go out there and start using it right away. That's, going to break. We're actually going to be refining it and upgrading it into something stronger. With that being said, the base stats of the spear is 27 attack, 1 critical rate, and obviously the fire affinity. And what makes this thing interesting is the effect. It's packed with a high concentration fuel, so every swing basically sends out a wave of fire damage. Now, I'll be honest with you, this thing isn't the strongest spear in the lineup, but it's very solid. Fire damage in general is just reliable across most enemies. And if you already have the fire abilities unlocked, you're going to be stacking the element damage on top of it. This thing can actually put out some serious damage. Now, before we go any further, let me break down how these Kuku Spears actually work, because the part is important. Every single Kuku Spear starts the same way. You're going to go craft a Kuku pot, which is the basic materials like iron, ore, and timber. You're going to turn it into a Kuku Spear, and then from that spear you branch off in all these different variants. So for the Kuku Flame Spear, what we are going to need is 1 Kuku Spear, 10 small batteries, 50 lubricant, and obviously the Flame Spear. So once you got those materials, you're going to head over to the Kilden workshop, craft it there, and that's how you unlock the true version of the Kuku Flame Spear. Now this is where it gets good, because the crafted version does not have durability, and it can be refined all the way up to 10. At max refinement, we're looking at 35 attack, 2 critical rate, and 1 attack speed. So it goes from being a decent weapon to a fully upgradable, non-durability, high damage fire spear. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely go out and grab it. And don't worry, you got a lot more Kuku Spears to go over, and some of them are way stronger than this one. With that being said, let's move on to the next one. Moving on from the Flame Spear, the next one we're going to be talking about is the Kuku Lightning Spear. Now to get this spear, you're going to head all the way north of Payloon, just above the E at the location called the Black Wall Bandit Camp. Once you get here, it's honestly very simple. You're going to see a small camp with a couple of tents, and right between all of them, right here on the weapon rack, the lightning spear is just going to be standing straight up right here. All you have to do is walk up, grab it, and this is the base version, just like all the other spears we're going to be getting in this video. Now just like the Flame Spear, this version you pick up is not the final version. Once you have it, you're going to head over to Hanend, talk to Grimnir at the Kuku Pot workshop, and here we're going to upgrade it into the Kuku Lightning Spear. To craft it, we are going to need, obviously, the Kuku Spear, the Lightning Spear, 10 small batteries, and 2 electrical components. Once you bring all that to the workshop, go ahead and craft it, and now you've got the real Kuku Lightning Spear. Let's talk about the stats. The base crafted version starts at 20 attack, 1 attack speed, and 1 movement speed. And yes, just like the other variants, this one can be refined. At max refinement, we're looking at 35 attack, 1 attack speed, and 2 movement speed. So not only does it hit harder, but it actually makes your character feel a lot faster and more aggressive in combat. Now this is where the spear really shines. Because it's a lightning affinity weapon, it's extremely strong against mechanical enemies and anything that's weak to electrical damage. Just honestly an overall good element. So if you're going up against machines or tougher targets, this thing can absolutely tear through them. And on top of that, if you like running lightning builds or stacking elemental effects, this spear fits perfectly into that playstyle. Overall, this is a very solid spear, guys. So if lightning is your thing, it's definitely one that you're going to go out and grab. And with that being said, let's move on to the next Kuku Spear. Moving down the list, the next spear we're going to be talking about is the Kuku Bismuth Spear. Now this one is located under the Four Bearers Barrens at a place called the Well of Enlightenment. When you get here, just be ready. This area is filled with enemies and there's actually a giant bismuth crab you're going to have to deal with before you can safely grab the weapon. So go ahead, clear everything out first. Once you've got the area under control, make your way to the spot that I'm at. You're going to notice a collapsed rundown building, and inside there's going to be a weapon rack with the Bismuth Spear standing straight up. Just walk up, grab it, and this is going to be the base version. Now just like every other Kuku weapon, we're not done yet. You're going to take that spear to Grimnir at the Kuku pot shop, and we're going to turn it into the Kuku Bismuth Spear. To craft it, what we're going to need is the Kuku Spear, the Bismuth Spear, 10 small batteries, and 4 bismuth ore. Bring all that to the workshop, craft it, and now we've got the upgraded version. Let's talk about the stats. The base crafted version starts at 21 attack and 1 attack speed. And yes, just like the others, this one can be refined. At max refinement, we're looking at 38 attack, 1 attack speed. So this actually hits harder than most of the ones fully upgraded because of the higher attack. Now here's what makes this spear special. This is a bismuth affinity weapon, and even though we don't have any element that plays like that, it still has a very unique effect. When you hit enemies with it, it basically applies crystallizing effect, similar to what you see with bismuth enemies, where it starts to slow them down and lock them up into place. So this means it's amazing for crowd control. It helps you manage multiple enemies at once, and it gives you way more control in those huge chaotic fights. And on top of that, let's be real, guys, this thing looks pretty cool. It's got that purple crystal look. It stands out from most of the spears, and honestly, it's one of the coolest looking spears in the entire lineup, in my opinion. Overall, it's a very strong weapon, especially if you're looking to control fights instead of just rushing in. Personally, it's one of my favorites. Honestly, I'd recommend picking up every single one of these spears anyway, because they all have their own use. So with that being said, let's move on to the next. The next spear on the list is the Kuku Disruptor Spear, and I'm going to say it right now, this is hands down one of the strongest weapons in the entire game against mechanical enemies. I'm going to show you exactly where to get it. First things first, we're going to head over to Delicia just above Gorthak, right where I'm showing you on the map. When you get here, you're going to notice a watchtower across the road from you. From that point, turn around and head into an area with all these testing dummies. Right underneath these 2 tents, there's going to be a weapon rack, and the Disruptor Spear is going to be standing straight up there. Just walk up, grab it, and that is going to be the base version. Now, once you've got it, you're going to make your way back to the Grimnir Kuku shop, and we're going to turn this thing into the Kuku Disruptor Spear. To craft it, what we're going to need is obviously the Kuku Spear, the Disruptor Spear, 5 small batteries, 2 electrical components, and 10 cogwheels. Bring that all in, craft it, and you've got the upgraded version. Let's talk stats real quick. The base crafted version sits at 21 attack, 1 attack speed, and yes, it can be refined. At max refinement, we're looking at 38 attack and 1 attack speed. Now, I know you're probably thinking those stats don't sound that crazy. This weapon becomes completely different from everything else, with the special ability on the spear that sends out electromagnetic pulses that cause mechanical malfunctions. And what I mean in actual gameplay is enemies get staggered insanely fast, and their systems basically shut down mid-fight. Their health starts getting deleted way faster than any of the other weapons. I'll throw up a video here of me fighting the Mecha Knight, which is a pretty tough boss, and you can literally see the stagger building up, and the health is just getting melted. I mean, it's not even fully maxed out in this video. So if you take it all the way to max refinement, this thing would be absolutely delete mechanical bosses. So in my opinion, if there's one spear on the entire list you need to get, it's this one. This thing is extremely strong, especially in the right fights. So with that being said, guys, let's continue moving down the list. The next spear on the list is the Kuku Propeller Spear, so if you're more into the wind type element, this one's going to be for you. Now to get this one, we're going to head all the way southeast of Delicia, just below the location called the Grey Fortress, at a spot known as the Astronautical Research Base. When you get here, you're going to see 2 towers. I want to be very clear, it's not the one with the windmill, it's the other one right here. So you're going to find it, you're going to jump up, climb all the way up inside, and head up a staircase. Up at the top inside the tower, there's going to be a weapon rack, and the Propeller Spear is sitting right there. Just grab it, and you're good to go. Now, just like the rest, we're going to be heading back to Grimnir's Kuku shop to craft the Kuku Propeller Spear. You are going to need 1 Kuku Spear, the Propeller Spear, 5 small batteries, 2 electrical components, and 10 cogwheels. Bring that all in, craft it, and now you have the upgraded version. Now, the base stats we're going to be talking about is 20 attack, plus 2 attack speed, and yes, this comes with refinement capability just like the rest of them. At a max refinement, we're looking at 35 attack and 3 attack speed. Now this is where the weapon stands out. This is a attack speed focus kind of spear, but the wind that shoots enemies and knocks back enemies, which is pretty cool. So you can control space really well, keep enemies off you, and just if you like that wind style, this is the one for you. And if you're running wind-based builds and stacking element effects, it would fit pretty good in your guys' playstyle. And honestly, let's talk about the design for a second. This thing looks insane. It literally looks like a mini helicopter blade on your spear. Overall, it's a very solid weapon. Good speed, good control. It's honestly definitely worth picking up. With that being said, let's move on to the next. Now, the final spear we're going to be talking about on this list is the Kuku Laser Cannon Spear. This one's a little bit different, and the reason I saved it for last is because you can't just go out in the world and pick this one up like the others. To actually unlock this spear, you're going to need to head over to the Delician Institute Research, and once you're there, you're going to research the Prickly Pear Research, which unlocks the ability to send out mission dispatches, and this is where the spear comes in. After unlocking that, you're going to send out a dispatch mission to the very southern part of Delicia at a location called Marnie's Mysterium. There will be a specific mission called the Laser Cannon Spear Production. Complete this dispatch, and that's how you unlock the Laser Cannon Spear. Now, once you've got it, like every other weapon, head back to Grimnir's Kuku shop, and we're going to turn it into the Kuku Laser Cannon Spear. To craft it, we're going to need the Kuku Spear, the Laser Cannon Spear, 5 small batteries, 3 electrical components, and 10 cogwheels. Craft it up, and now we have the Kuku version. Now let's talk about these stats. The base crafted version sits at 21 attack, 1 attack speed, and yes, it can be refined. A max refinement, we're looking at 38 attack and 1 attack speed. Now, what makes this weapon different, this thing literally fires lasers out of the tip of the weapon that explode on impact, and depending on how you use it, especially with heavy attacks, you can actually fire multiple beams at once, and it's honestly pretty cool for burst damage. This weapon is flashy and unique, and it's just pretty fun to use. It might not be as specialized as something like the Disruptor Spear versus mechanical enemies, but it's still very strong, a solid pick, and honestly just another cool spear in the Kuku playlist. Before we fully wrap this up, I want to quickly show you guys something super important. If you ever lose, delete, or can't find one of these spears again, do not panic. You can actually get them back through dispatch missions. So I'm going to run you through every single one real quick so you know exactly where to go. First up, the Flame Spear. Back in Payloon at Ashclaw Keep, where we originally grabbed it, there's a dispatch mission there that will let you craft the Flame Spear once again if you do lose it. All the way at the northern spot called Winds on Peaks, you can actually get the Lightning Spear. For the Bismuth Spear, head back to the Well of Enlightenment, and there's a dispatch mission there for you to reclaim it. For the Propeller Spear, you're going to head to Herlamara, which is below the main desert region, and there's a dispatch mission for the propeller production here. And for the Disruptor Spear, head below Delicia to the place called Marnie's Steel Armory, where you'll find the dispatch mission for the Disruptor Spear. And then you can obviously craft the Laser Cannon Spear at Marnie's Mysterium. So again, if you ever mess up, delete something, or need another copy, these dispatch missions have you covered. Just run the mission, get the weapon back, and you take it over back to the Kilden Kuku workshop, turn it into the upgraded version once again. That's honestly one of the best systems in this game because it means you're never permanently locked out of these weapons. With that being said, that is going to be every single Kuku Spear currently in Crimson Desert. We went over the Kuku Propeller Spear, Disruptor Spear, Flame Spear, Lightning Spear, Laser Cannon Spear, and the Bismuth Spear. I showed you guys where to get them, how to craft them, their stats, and what makes them each one unique. Now, if I had to recommend one spear out of all these, in my personal opinion, it would be the Disruptor Spear. That AoE pulse that makes mechanical enemies stagger build up, the thing is just, in my opinion, on another level. It's probably my favorite spear on the list. But we're not done. There's still a ton of stuff inside the Kuku shop that we haven't even touched yet. In the next video, I'll be covering how to unlock the mech, all of his upgrades, and every single backpack in the Kuku shop. What they do, how to get them, and how they actually play within the game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, drop the comments, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow, and I appreciate every single one of you guys' support. This game honestly has an absolute blast to play, and I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys. With that being said, thanks for watching, take care, and God bless.